You are now entering a recorded field transmission from the Department of Lost Places. This is archive entry 031. The subject of this record is known as The Staircase Beyond Sleep. Among the many locations preserved within department archives, few have been encounters as frequently, and few have been remembered so imperfectly. Nearly everyone who visits the staircase arrives with the same certainty. They have been there before, yet almost no one can explain when or why. The department first became aware of this staircase through a collection of remarkably similar reports gathered across several decades. The witnesses differed in age, nationality, occupation, background, yet all described the same place, a staircase, not within a building, not attached to a structure, not leading towards any visible destination, simply a staircase ascending into soft darkness. The earliest archived account was submitted by a school teacher who awoke with a vivid memory she could not explain. She recalled climbing a staircase beneath a sky filled with drifting lanterns. She remembered no beginning, no ending, only the feeling of moving upward. Years later, independent reports revealed nearly identical details. The department opened an investigation. What followed remains one of the most extensive research projects in archive history. The staircase appears during a very particular moment. Not during sleep. Not during wakefulness. Between them. The precise threshold remains difficult to define. Researchers have proposed numerous terms: transition state, hypnagogic passage, liminal interval. The staircase appears unconcerned with terminology. Visitors simply find themselves standing before it. The first impression is usually one of familiarity. The staircase is constructed from pale stone worn smooth by countless footsteps. Its steps are broad, comfortable, ancient. A handrail runs along one side. Lanterns hang at regular intervals. Their warm light illuminates only a short distance ahead. The rest disappears into gentle darkness. Curiously, no visitor has ever reported feeling afraid. The unknown destination seems less important than the certainty that the staircase is meant to be climbed. And so they begin. The ascent is neither difficult nor tiring. The steps unfold at an unhurried pace. The lanterns sway gently despite the absence of wind. The darkness above remains inviting rather than threatening. Many visitors report the sensation that ordinary concerns begin loosening with each step. Deadlines, responsibilities, worries, expectations. These things do not disappear. They simply become quieter, as though the staircase exists beyond the reach of urgency. Several surveyors have compared the experience to setting down a heavy bag one was no longer aware of carrying. The department regards this observation as particularly noteworthy. After a period of climbing, travellers encounter the first of several landings. The staircase contains many. No two visitors agree upon the exact number. Each landing appears different, yet all share a common purpose. Pause. The first landing is often known as the hall of unfinished thoughts. The space contains countless sheets of paper drifting slowly through the air. None touch the ground, none leave the room. Visitors who examine them discover fragments, ideas never pursued, questions never answered, stories never completed, dreams postponed until some future date. The atmosphere remains surprisingly gentle. The hall contains no judgment, no regret, only possibility. The papers drift patiently through the air as though aware that unfinished things occasionally find their moment. Further upward lies another frequently documented location. Surveyors refer to it as the Gallery of Forgotten Dreams. Unlike a museum, the gallery contains no exhibits, at least not conventional ones. Instead, visitors encounter brief glimpses. A child imagining future adventures, an inventor sketching impossible designs, a traveller studying distant maps, a musician hearing a melody for the first time. The dreams appear suspended within the room like reflections upon water, not abandoned, merely waiting. One surveyor later wrote, "The gallery did not feel sad, it felt patient." The department considers this distinction essential. The staircase appears dedicated to preserving potential rather than loss. As the ascent continues, the architecture becomes increasingly unusual. The staircase occasionally bends in directions that should be impossible. Landings appear larger inside than outside. Windows reveal landscapes unlike any recorded elsewhere within department archives. A forest illuminated by moonlight, a sea reflecting unfamiliar stars, a city composed entirely of lanterns. The views remain visible only briefly, long enough to inspire curiosity, not long enough to satisfy it. At approximately the midpoint of the ascent lies a location known as the Quiet Landing. Unlike previous levels, the landing contains almost nothing. A bench, a lantern, a wide opening overlooking endless clouds. Visitors often remain there for extended periods, watching, breathing, listening. No instruction encourages this behavior. The space simply invites it. The department has collected hundreds of descriptions of the Quiet Landing. Remarkably, they all convey the same essential experience. Relief. Not because something has been solved, because nothing currently requires solving. The staircase seems unusually skilled at creating room for thought. Or perhaps room beyond thought. Near the upper reaches of the ascent, visitors begin noticing an unusual phenomenon. The lanterns become brighter. The darkness grows softer. The air changes. Not warmer, more spacious. Many describe the sensation of approaching understanding, not a specific answer, a broader perspective. The feeling one experiences when a difficult problem suddenly appears less complicated than before. And yet no final destination has ever been documented. This remains one of the archive's greatest mysteries. No visitor has successfully described the top of the staircase, not because it cannot be reached, because memory becomes uncertain beyond a certain point. Reports grow fragmented, incomplete, dreamlike. The department suspects the staircase continues far beyond what visitors later remember. One recurring account describes a final inscription carved into stone near the highest visible landing. Though wording varies slightly, the message remains consistent. Every journey upward is also a journey inward. Researchers continue to debate its meaning. The staircase offers no clarification. Eventually visitors awaken. A bedroom, a chair, a train journey, a quiet afternoon. Ordinary life resumes, yet traces remain. A feeling of calm, a forgotten idea returning unexpectedly, a new perspective regarding an old problem, a subtle sense of having travelled somewhere meaningful. The staircase rarely leaves memories. It leaves orientation. The department classifies the staircase beyond sleep as type, liminal transit structure, dream passageway, transitional archive site, access level, recurring, most frequently encountered during periods of reflection, uncertainty, creativity, or personal transition. Final note from the archivist. People often speak of sleep as though it were an absence, a pause between waking hours. The staircase proposes a different possibility. Perhaps sleep is also a passage, a place where thoughts settle, where possibilities rearrange themselves, where the mind explores landscapes inaccessible during daylight. If so, the staircase may simply be one of many routes through that territory, a path climbed countless times, remembered only occasionally, yet somehow familiar every time. This concludes Archive Entry 031. The record is sealed. The lanterns remain lit. The staircase continues upward. End transmission.